Welcome to Learning Horizons, the podcast where we explore the intersection of education and technology. I'm your host, Emily. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic: how weather affects online education. Joining me is our resident expert in meteorology and education technology, Dr. Mark Thompson. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Emily. I'm excited to be here. Weather impacts many aspects of our lives, and education is no exception.
Absolutely. So, Mark, let's start with the basics. How does weather influence online education?
Great question. First, we need to consider how extreme weather events, like storms or heat waves, can impact both students and teachers. For example, power outages during a storm can disrupt classes.
Right. I can imagine that would be frustrating for students trying to attend a live webinar.
Exactly. Plus, if students are in areas where they're experiencing severe weather, their focus might be on the storm rather than on their studies.
That makes sense. But what about more moderate weather conditions? Can they impact online education too?
Definitely. Studies have shown that pleasant weather can actually boost student engagement. When it's sunny outside, students might be tempted to go outdoors rather than sit in front of a computer.
I guess that's a dilemma many students face. Do you think schools could adapt their schedules based on the weather?
That's an interesting idea. Some educational institutions are already experimenting with flexible schedules. For instance, if a sunny day is forecasted, they might encourage students to take their classes earlier in the day or even suggest outdoor study sessions.
I love that. It promotes a healthy balance between learning and enjoying the outdoors. But what about winter? How does cold weather affect online education?
Cold weather can often lead to increased screen time, as students are less inclined to go outside. However, it can also lead to increased distractions at home, especially if families are snowed in.
That's true. I remember being stuck at home during snow days, and it was easy to get distracted by games or TV shows.
Exactly. Teachers and educational platforms can help mitigate this by providing engaging content that keeps students focused. Interactive modules and gamified learning experiences can be particularly effective.
Speaking of interactive learning, how do you think technology can help students stay engaged during adverse weather conditions?
Technology is key. For instance, using virtual reality can transport students to different environments, making learning more immersive. If it's pouring rain outside, a virtual field trip to a tropical rainforest could be a fantastic way to keep students interested.
That sounds amazing. It's like bringing the world to them, regardless of the weather.
Exactly. And let's not forget about community building. Online forums and study groups can help students feel connected, even when they can't meet in person due to bad weather.
Right. Building that sense of community can be vital for motivation. What other strategies can teachers use to keep students engaged?
Teachers can incorporate real-time weather discussions into lessons. For example, a science class could analyze how weather patterns change over time. This not only teaches students about the subject but also makes the lessons more relevant to their daily lives.
That sounds like a great way to connect classroom learning with the outside world.
Exactly. And we should also consider the role of parents. They play a crucial part in supporting their children's learning, especially during extreme weather events.
How can parents help create a conducive learning environment at home during bad weather?
Parents can set up a dedicated study space and establish a routine, even when the outside world is chaotic. Encouraging breaks and outdoor time when safe is also essential for maintaining mental well-being.
That's really helpful advice. So how can online education providers support students during these challenging times?
Online platforms can offer resources that help students stay organized and motivated. Regular check-ins and reminders can also help students stay on track, especially during weather-related disruptions.
That's a fantastic point. It sounds like a collaborative effort between educators, parents, and technology is key to navigating these challenges.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that learning is a lifelong journey. Adapting to different circumstances, including weather, is part of that journey.
Well said, Mark. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts for our listeners?
I'd encourage everyone to embrace the unexpected. Whether it's a sunny day urging you outside or a snowstorm keeping you indoors, make the most of your learning environment and stay curious.
That's great advice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mark. It's been a pleasure discussing how weather impacts online education.
Thank you for having me, Emily. I enjoyed our conversation.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Learning Horizons. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.